take by an insane amount. And so that technology, basically, he invented it, and he wants to implement it in areas like that one with San Francisco and LA, maybe in some places on the East Coast where there's a lot of traffic between two major cities. But he has said that he does not want to create a company that kind of like is responsible for that technology and for implementing it all over the nation.
So
he wants to release his plans.
Yeah,
he wants to give it away to other companies and have them do the work, basically. He's an
idea guy.
He is an idea guy. So
I knew that he had something similar to that for his company, the Boring Company or whatever. I think they were actually thinking about bringing it to Chicago, but it was essentially a high-speed train that went from downtown to the airport and back.
Yeah.
And he was going to bring it here for free, like no cost to the city, and it would be free for people to ride, just to like test it out here. I didn't hear anything after that, but I think I have heard about that. I saw on it because I follow him on Twitter. So I thought I saw one of his tweets that said like, it'll take you right to your garage, and it showed like a picture of a garage and like a platform lowering them down. But what I don't get is how like the car is stationary and it's lowering you down on this platform, and then there's like conveyor belt that's going 300 miles an hour. Like, when do you build up to that speed, or are you essentially dropped on it and you just shoot forward?
I have no idea. And he also, I read an article, an article talking about the loop, and it said the safe distance between like cars, I think was 5 miles or something. So you can have a new car traveling along the loop every 2 minutes or something like that. But
so longest someone would have to wait to get on it is 2 minutes. But there's only so much space, between San Francisco and LA.
Exactly.
So you can only fit so many cars on it.
I don't know. I don't understand the technology, and I don't want to try to explain it because...
No, it's fine. I'm just like theorizing. I kind of hope that it happens because I want to see what...
I hope it happens.
If it would function properly.
It would cut down on fuel emissions.
Yeah, they need to figure out how to put something like that on a smaller scale, like within cities.
Definitely, yeah. Also, besides just driving your car on the platform, they would have passenger cars, so you don't drive your car and you just walk in going on the subway, basically.
Yeah, public transportation version of it.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
I'd like to see it, so we'll see.
I'm rooting for them. Not going a good way.
Yeah.
Okay, so today Lauren and I decided that we wanted to talk about The Handmaid's Tale, because you've read the book, right, Lauren?
Yes, I have.
And have you watched any of the show?
Yes, I watched the first several episodes of season 1.
Okay. And I've watched season 1 and season 2. So, if you guys haven't watched The Handmaid's Tale or read the book, pause, go watch it or go read it, and then come back. Or you can just listen to it, but there are spoilers ahead, just FYI. And, yeah, it's just... I think I just wanted to talk about your initial thoughts first. Because I didn't read the book, but I think the first season is the book, is what they said. There were some differences, but what were your initial thoughts on it? Like, you finished and you thought...
Well, as soon as I finished the book left you on a cliffhanger, so we have no idea what happened to Offred after the end of the first book.
There was an afterword, though, wasn't there? That was like 200 years later. I think it was abolished or something. The system was abolished. Gilead was abolished.
Yeah, and I think they had found... Oh, shoot. I don't have it with me. It's at my dad's house in Columbus. I was going to see if I had the book with me, but I don't. Yeah, I just remember at the end I was wondering what happened, but I really enjoyed the book. It was a really easy, quick read. I don't know. I don't know if it was close enough to reality to scare me. I don't remember thinking that. I thought it was really interesting. And...
See, I feel the opposite. I feel like I saw a lot of parallels that kind of freaked me out.
Yeah. I definitely see parallels, but it's not something like like, for example, with Black Mirror, where I can see us heading there realistically very soon.
Not on such an extreme scale.
I can see the parallels. So, I mean...
Did you like that the book ended without, like, giving you a concrete, like, what happened to her?
At the time, no. I didn't like it, but I see now how they can take that and make it into a multi-season show, which is...
So if you haven't, I guess I should have prefaced it with this. If you guys haven't read the book or watched the TV show and you're not planning on it and you're just listening to us chat about it, basically the premise is, like, this group of people create a new system and take over America, and I'm trying to... The whole purpose of it is to, like, bear children. Like, the whole purpose of the society is to, like, keep life going, because there was a huge fertility problem, and this, like, solution was only, like, it's just America. All the other countries, I think, were, for the most part, were functioning the same. Like, they didn't have any weird revolutions like this, but and it's all based in religion. What I thought was interesting, and I don't know if they talked about this in the book, was that they knocked down all of the old churches. But it's based in, their religion is based in Christianity, is it not?
I think so. I can't remember in the book if it talked about the old churches. In the show, is it like their religion is very prevalent in the government, so it's all kind of one, right?
What's that called? An oligarchy?
Oh.
I don't remember what it's called, where essentially the church runs the government.
Maybe.
But, well, a lot of their phrases that they use, like the blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, or whatever, come from the Bible.
Yes.
But then that one, there's a character, this might have been in season 2, there's a character who, like, gets caught with, like, the Bible, with the old Bible, and, like, gets offed for it.
Oh,
basically.
Really?
Yeah, so it's just, like, a really strict religious system.
Interesting.
But it all revolves around reproducing.
Yeah, and I remember those biblical references from the book, but I don't think it ever said that their religion was based in Christianity.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you don't think this is, like, plausible?
I just feel like with the way our politics are going, it's just, that's the opposite way of the direction we're moving right now. I feel. I
agree with that, like, as the masses are moving that direction, but the government is not.
Well,
now.
Even with the Trump administration, though, even with them being in power if he were to get reelected and then be in power for another 4 years, I just really don't see 8 years of that administration taking us in that direction at all, really.
They didn't do a great job of explaining it in the show, or they haven't yet. But in the book, did they ever explain, like, how they took over the government? Because it basically just seemed like a bunch of guys talking behind doors, and they overthrew a whole government, which makes no sense.
I think the idea was that they elected a new government, and it was kind of based on the premise of, like, a new world order, like a one government, which is always how it starts in these dystopian
novels.
Yes. And then...
Wait, so it was elected? So, like, it was chosen?
Yeah, I think so, because everyone in the book, so everything was normal, and I remember Offred, and before her name was Offred,
June.
went into a coffee shop one day, I think it was.
And she couldn't use her credit card.
Yeah, she couldn't use her credit card because the government had decided that no females could have money of their own, and that's how it started.
It's, like,
and it
slow.
just spiraled from there. Yeah, so they had no idea that it was coming. Basically what we were talking about in our last episode, where I said, you will never know until it's too late, and then it's too late.
What signs would make you be like, I need to get the hell out? I can't remember what it was for them. Why did they end up leaving? Like, why did her and her husband and their kid try to make it to Canada?
specifically, but it must. I mean, it started with the bank accounts.
She got fired from her job.
Yeah, all the females were fired from their jobs. So all these crazy things started happening, and then they were just kind of like, okay.
I actually think the first one was they stopped prescribing. They stopped allowing women to take birth control, or at least that was in the show.
Okay.
Like birth control was outlawed, and then the
Interesting.
bank, and then their jobs, which is wild.
I think that the reason their society focused so much on reproduction is because they were having trouble.
Yeah, fertility crisis.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they saw this as a solution.
Yes. And why were they having a fertility crisis? Was it just... Did they ever say why?
Well, I think that the radicals of this religious, like, I'm going to call them a cult, it said that it was because, like, it was for all the sins of everyone. Like, it was for everything
punishment.
that they did. It was punishment for what they did wrong. And you know how in that world, they were destroying the earth. So it was punishment for that. So I never really understood that part either. Like the colonies or whatever, where they would send people who were bad. Or like,
what were they called? The women that they sent to work? What were those? What's that group called? I can't remember.
But is that toxic waste where they're sent? Is it just like...
It's somewhere where basically you're being sent to your death if you...
Yeah.
To work to your death because it was so dangerous. I don't know. But, so what is it about the show and the parallels with today that make you think you could see this actually happening or something?
And this is like my feminist coming out, but really is that there's like a large group of elderly men that think they have any say in the way that women treat their bodies. That's what gets me. And then also,
do you think that is just like because the way I look at it is that's just a remnant of the past and how women have been oppressed for centuries and
I
been
think
told what to
most
do.
of the parallels that I see are nothing new. Like it's no new developments. Like another one would be that like, and this isn't. I'm not saying this for the vast majority, but there are like still a lot of people who blame rape victims for what happened to them. Yeah. And say it was their fault.
And that does happen in The Handmaid.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I guess you're right. There aren't a lot of like new things that are coming up. It's just, but that's the same can be said for the book. Like all those ideas that they come up with are nothing new. Like they're all old ideas coming back. Besides the whole prospect of the handmaids, which again, if you haven't watched it or read the book, the handmaids are essentially proven fertile women that are taken and assigned to a commander, which is like essentially a high-ranking official. And they're like breeding cows. The guy tries to impregnate her until she gets pregnant, and then she has a baby, and then are they sent to a new home, right? Oh, you never got it that far. Yeah. That's in the second season.
They do that in the first book.
They
get
do?
Rotated throughout these different homes with different men.
So they're essentially breeding cows, but they're servants. They're not treated well. Like they're kept in small
they're
rooms.
slaves.
Yeah.
They're just slaves, and their only purpose is to reproduce. And it's such a big deal in the book because it's rare. It's almost rare to have a healthy baby. Yeah. Right. A lot of babies are born with deformities or are stillborn. So.
But I wonder, is that a product of the environment, like, destruction that they've hinted at? Like, how they're ruining the earth? Is it, like, there are certain toxins now in the atmosphere that are making it so you can't have healthy babies and fertility?
I think that's the real reason.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what's happening. The people in the book may believe that it's a
punishment.
A religious punishment, yeah. But I think actually probably something to do with something in the food or the air or the water.
So I read a lot of places that people think that this is like a feminist anthem. I feel that way, just because like it's literally all about how these women need to rise up, because it's focuses on the handmaids. Like there are also other roles within this society that are still like have to deal with this horrible change that happened, although some of them don't think it's horrible. But well, and it is a satire, so there's like
it's obviously an exaggeration of anything that we see today.